Today we are going to discuss about the MCQs from Biology and Mdcat, which is PMC Unit 5 chapters. We are going to do chapter number support and movement. Okay, so first, if we're gonna look at question number one, so question number one is all of the following are the function of endoskeleton in human except. क्वेश्चन बता रहा है कि सारे एंडोस्केलेटन के फंक्शन है ह्यूमन के अंदर, किसके अलावा ऐसा कौन सा है जो कि फंक्शन नहीं है। तो फर्स्ट, प्रोटेक्शन टू क्रिटिकल इंटरनल ऑर्गन्स, दिस इज करेक्ट। मिनरल प्रोडक्शन, दिस इज करेक्ट। ब्लड सेल प्रोडक्शन, दिस इज करेक्ट। थर्मोरेगुलेशन, remember thermoregulation is not the function of endoskeleton. Thermoregulation is not the function of endoskeleton. You can write the points in your copy, book, notes, whatever you want. Okay, let's move towards question number two. In question number two, it is the most rigid form of connective tissue found in human. जो most rigid form है connective tissue की, जो कि हमारे पास पाई जाती है ह्यूमन के अंदर, that is bone. Because we know cartilage is not rigid and tendon is something which is not the connective tissue, and blood is of course no. So our correct option will be bone. Bone is the most rigid form of connective tissue. Question number three. All of the following are the features of spongy except spongy bone. Sorry, ठीक है, सारे features हैं spongy bone के किसके अलावा. Okay, so here you can see the provide attachment site for muscles. No, this provide attachment site of muscle is not the feature of spongy bone. Yes, we know spongy bone is lighter in weight. This is correct. Rich in blood supply, correct. High porous, because sponge is something which have high amount of porous, and which have high amount of blood and less in weight. But the option number three, which provide attachment site for muscle, this is totally wrong. So except this, all are the features of a spongy bone. Okay. Now let's look at we can say, wait a second. Yes. Question number four. A flexible, elastic, non-living matter called as collagen is secreted by. एक हमारे पास नॉन लिविंग मैट्रिक्स होता है which is collagen. This is secreted by, this is secreted by dish during cartilage tissue formation. अब remember, जब भी हमारे पास cartilage की formation होगी, तो the living cell of cartilage is known as chondrocyte. living cell cartilage से क्या होता है, chondrocyte, जो कि formation करता है. ठीक है, जो कि क्या करता है, फॉर्मेशन करता है. अब अगर हम बात करते हैं क्वेश्चन नंबर 5 की, ठीक है, क्वेश्चन नंबर 5 की बात करते हैं तो क्या होता है, ऑल ऑफ द फॉलोइंग फंक्शंस आर परफॉर्म बाय कार्टिलेज एक्सेप्ट. सारे जो फंक्शन बताए गए ऑप्शंस के अंदर वो परफॉर्म किए जाते हैं कार्टिलेज के जरिए. कौन सा नहीं किया जाता, एक्सेप्ट अटैचमेंट ऑफ मसल्स विद बोन, फॉर्मेशन ऑफ एक्सटर्नल. हमें पता है कार्टिलेज क्या करता है, फॉर्मेशन करता है एक्सटर्नल पे ना की, दिस इज करेक्ट. कवर एंड बोन एंड जॉइंट्स, वी कैन से एंड बॉइन को भी जॉइंट से कनेक्ट करता है, दिस इज करेक्ट. कवर ग्लॉटिस ड्यूरिंग swallowing, yes. So here the except is what, except is option number A, attachment of muscles with bone. मसल्स की बोन के साथ अटैचमेंट टेंडन करता है, कार्टिलेज नहीं करता है. And tendon is, we can say, type of bone, you can say tendon and ligament. Yes. Now let's move towards question number 6. They're asking total number of cervical and thoracic vertebrae in the human vertebral columns is. टोटल नंबर सर्वाइकल और थोरेसिक वर्टिब्रे के काउंट कर ऐड करके कितने होते हैं. तो वी हैव 7 cervicals and 12 thoracic. When we're gonna count these both, it will be 19. So we have 19 vertebral columns in the cervical and thoracic. Fine. Now let's move towards another question, which is basically yes, which is question number 7. These cells are equipped with phagocytic like mechanism and involved in bone reabsorption or bone breaking down. अब देखो मैंने this is the repeated question. Last time I taught you the same. The bone breakdown of bone is done by osteoclast. Okay. Now question number 8. Axial skeleton include all except. Now axial skeleton is the middle skeleton जो कि बीच के अंदर पाया जाता है आपकी बॉडी के अंदर. That include basically 80 bones. ठीक है. उसके अंदर 80 bones होती हैं. With that we can say इसके अंदर हमारे पास skull होती है. Then we have sternum होता है. Ribs are there. Vertebrals are there. Vertebrae columns are there. And last hairline bone. If you're gonna count this, so this we can say skull have 8. अच्छा skull के अंदर भी further we have facial bones, uh, sacrum bones, aerosicles and hyaline cartilage. So these are included in skull, which is around 28 maybe. Then sternum 1, ribs 24, vertebrae 33. So when you're gonna combine, this will be complete 80. So now here question is which is not except all are the we can say all are included in axial system except clavicle. क्योंकि clavicle is our collarbone in which comes into appendicular system. Skeleton, sorry. Okay. Question number 9, which is sacrum is made up of. Now the sacrum is basically cranium, not sacrum, cranium. Now this cranium is part of what? Cranium is part of skull. अब इसके अंदर we have total 8 bones. Now these 8 bones are divided. 2 bones are in pair. First is parietal, which is in pair, and other is we can say frontal, occipital, parietal, and the bone which is near to our ear, that is also in the paired form. Don't remember the name. And 4 are unpaired, which are basically 4 are unpaired bones, which is first frontal, then cranium, and 2 other bones. Okay, so A option is correct. 2 are in the paired form and 4 are in unpaired form. Okay, did you get it? Okay, now if we can move towards another question. So here we do have wait a second, yes. Now here we have another question. Question number 10. Question number 10, they are asking lacrimal bone is page, paired bone of cranium, unpaired bone of cranium, paired bone of face, unpaired. अब in the skull we do have facial bones too, and those facial bones are 14 in number. And inside the facial bones, the lacrimal bone is basically the paired bone of face. B is the correct option. Okay. And after that, we have another question, which is question number 11. Four curvatures in the vertebral columns are helpful in providing. जो हमारे पास 4 curvatures होते हैं vertebral column के अंदर, वो किसके अंदर help करते हैं? They provide more strength. Strength provide करने के अंदर वो important होते हैं. After that, we have question number 12, which is vertebral column start from which vertebrae? We do have 33 vertebrae total. So the first and second vertebrae are mostly asked to give the name of these two. So remember, first vertebrae is atlas and second is axis. ये तो याद ही रखना चाहिए आपको, because this is the most repetitive question. So first vertebrae is atlas and then axis. Axis is on the second number. Okay. After this, if we're gonna look into question number 3, which is it is an injury to a ligament. This is the basically condition. Sprain is basically in the injury to any ligament. Okay. Now we can look at question number 14. It is the chest bone in axial system. ये होती है chest bone through which ribs are attached, and that chest bone is named as sternum, which is in the part of the axial bone. Wait a second. Yes. Now we have another question, question number 15. Number of the bone in appendicular system. In appendicular system, total we do have 126 bones. Because in the 80 we have axial, 126 in appendicular, together it is 206 bones. Wait a second. 206 bones, okay? Now let's look to question number 16. Question number 16. In children, rickets is characterized by all except rickets is somehow disease, which is basically then the rickets we have the legs are basically totally folded. वो fold हो जाती हैं जिसके अंदर this is the deformed pelvic too. It is characterized by deforming pelvic, bone leg, deficiency of vitamin D, except excess calcium in bone. Excess calcium bone के अलावा these are the characteristics of rickets. Okay. Now question number 17, which is which of the following secrete a watery fluid that lubricate the questions joint. ऐसा कौन सा हमारे पास following secrete करता है watery fluid? So synovium is basically the we can say question which provide the question and secrete the watery fluid to provide a lubricant. Question number 18. The joint which allow only rotational motion are known as. ऐसे joint जो सिर्फ हमारे पास rotational motion बताते हो, so those are pivot joint. ठीक है? Hinge joint which have the door like movement, saddle joint are the fixed joint, and these are any joint, multi-stage joint. Question number 19. These joints are held together by short fiber embedded in connective tissue. ऐसे कौन से joints हैं? So remember these are fibrous joints. Fibrous joints are present in our cranium. Cranium के अंदर because cranium is the fixed. Cranium के अंदर जो bones हैं these are the fixed bone वो tightly किसी से combine हुई हैं. So that is there is the fibrous joint. There is the held together by the short fibers embedded. Short fibers से वो embed हुई हैं, ये fix होती हैं. Okay, so now if you can go for question number 20, so it is proximal end of which bone is involved in formation of hip bone. Proximal कौन सी bone की end involve होती है hip bone की. अब देखो फिर दिस इज द hip bone. तो यहाँ से हमारे पास एक bone शुरू होती है which is known as femur, which is the largest bone in our body, femur. So this is basically the proximal end of a bone. So the B is the correct option, femur. So I hope till now these are clear to you guys. In the next video we're gonna discuss further more MCQs. Till that, bye bye.